We're gonna try something. There we go. Hello, hello. Welcome to Leave Taken. I'm Mika. This is Leave Taken. Here at Leave Taken, I talk about everything witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today is my witchy review. Ooh, my hair's tangled. I was running around like a crazy person right before this. So I'm trying to get myself together. But hello, hello, hello. So, um, because it is, of course, the weekend, Halloween weekend, that's what I'm calling it. I want to talk about a couple different things. So, first, the near and dear thing to my heart, this book called Hearth and Home Witchcraft. It's a newer book. I got this off of Amazon. I know I didn't remember the link, um, but you can get this on Amazon. And it's written by Jenny Blonde of the Comfy Cozy Witch. She has an Instagram presence, and I think that's her handle, the Comfy Cozy Witch. So I want to get right into talking about this book before I get into the cards. I like the book. I like the book, first off. As a cottage witch, Hearth and Home Witchcraft Rituals and Recipes to Nourish Home and Spirit. Honestly, the book is kind of set up similar to how I would expect it to be set up. I like the way the author kind of breaks it down. The narration aspect, that's something I also would do as well for a book like this. It makes sense to kind of add your personal anecdotal, type stuff. So I like that about the book. What you can get out of this is kind of almost like a breakdown step by step of approaching cottage witchery or hearth and home witchcraft, hearth witchcraft. A lot of people, I mean, she doesn't call it, I'm trying to remember if she said cottage in here, but she's saying hearth and home, but it's kind of the same thing, a house witch, that sort of stuff. And that's definitely up my alley. Um, she has recipes in here. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. A lot of times, recipes in witchy books are not my thing. I'll be honest. It's just not. I don't eat the way they. I don't like it. For like butternut squash soup. First of all, this is a great time to do it. It's not that I'm against it, but I just lately it's not just something I want. Like, and a lot of times because veganism tends to go hand in hand with like witchcraft for a lot of people. I'm looking at the recipes, it's mostly all vegetables. Um, there is an savory egg bake, so vegetarian, I guess. But it's not like anything to do with meat or anything like that, which is fine. However, some people like meat. Um, I don't know. This had me thinking a little bit, like just that one section. It had me sort of thinking a little bit about kind of perception and how you feel about witchcraft. So the way I see things, like I mean, honestly, at some point in my life, I would like to actually go hunt for my food, not for sport, for to actually consume the food, whether fishing, actually fishing and catching my food. And I'd like to experience actually hunting for my food and the process of doing that. I think it's an act of gratitude. I think it's an act of it's an offering of my energy. And the reward is me consuming the life force of this other animal. Here's the thing about this. A lot of us don't want to know how the sausage is made, and we're consuming, and it's all neatly packaged and things like that. And we'll read these types of books, and everything seems nice and sweet. But for us who are like consuming meat and the essence of other living beings, it's okay to admit that. It's okay to think about it on a more spiritual level. You're consuming the life force to sustain your own life force. That's what's happening, by the way. So there is no such thing like as I mean, you're taking a life for a life. That's the best way I can say. And a lot of us do it several times a day. We'll eat eggs and bacon, eggs and sausage. We'll have chicken salad for lunch and burgers for dinner. and you don't even think about it. We're disconnected from that process. You know, saying grace, even as a pagan, might be a good thing if you're not in a position to go hunt your food, hunt down your food, and uh, maybe start saying grace. And grace is obviously not thanking. I mean, it could be thanking God, but for us pagans, it's more likely like literally thanking the animal for its essence. They don't talk about that in this book, by the way, but I think it's a missed opportunity when you talk about hearth and home witchcraft because uh, if you're really going all in on this, that can be a component. Even if you don't live in a place where, necessarily you can go out back and go in the woods and go hunt something, maybe you have an opportunity to hunt at some point, and maybe it's at certain times of year. But that would be, you can turn that into ritual work. You can turn that into all types of, gratitude work and have a gratitude spell wrapped around that. You know, um, a lot of us don't really want to know how the sausage is made. We just want to consume. And you're not being very authentic when you think like that. It's a disadvantage. I liken it to death as well. A lot of us are not. We love, we could talk about spirits, we could talk about ghosts, we can talk about ancestors, all these other subjects. But the moment you attempt to speak on death, or someone tells you to, oh, let's talk about what you want to happen, once you're dead, how do you want things handled, or just anything that triggers that sort of thought, people get kind of freaked out about it. I know I'm on a tangent, but stay with me. Anyway, no one wants to talk about that. Like, it makes them very uncomfortable, and they want to usually shut the conversation down. But you were okay talking about those who had lived a life and passed on. And do you see what I'm saying? It's like, we don't be a hypocrite. Like, try to learn to face these things, even about it. If you're having a difficult time with the concept of death, especially your own or the people around you. I mean, I'm not sitting around loving the idea of dying, but I know there's nothing at this time I'm aware of that I can do to stop it. It's the cycle, it's the process. I don't love that because I don't fully have an explanation about my exact whereabouts and how things go down in that process, in that cycle. And that, is a little unnerving. However, I've been working with ancestors, I've been working with spirit, and I believe that there is something more. The exact process and all that it entails, we can only speculate, but none of us really know. No one really knows. Those who have those near death experiences, they go to a precipice, and this is from, and then I'm not the only person who thinks like that. They sort of go to a precipice. They're not on the ancestral realm and then come back. That's a total. You have to think about that. They're more like at a sort of a meeting point, if you will. And people, if you ever like watch documentaries about that, they kind of can sense that they're at this gateway, so to speak, but they haven't gone through all the way, because if they had, there's no coming back from that. Um, so they can't really tell you exactly what's happening behind the scenes, behind the gate. They don't really know what's going on either. But anyway, back to the book. Tangent over. Back to the book. One of the things that I really liked about the book is that they broke down room by room things that you can do in each room. Um, I have been working on something and reading this book. Kind of, I have no choice but to talk about it because it's definitely kind of in the realm of what I'm working on. I did things a little bit differently, but it kind of reminds me of something I'm working on over at leadtaken.com that's going to be offered very soon because I'm almost done. But anyway, yeah, the way the book is broken down is kind of like something I'm offering. So, but they break down some of the rooms, and they, like I said, they give recipes and things like that. Um, it's to me almost like a step by step of how to be a hearth witch, hearth and home witch. They tell you what to do on, like, it breaks down the wheel of the year, how to take each holiday. Hey, it's okay, you're fine. And it's sorry. So yeah, it breaks down, everything from like something called blanket magic, where she's talking about how to you take something mundane like a blanket in your house, and if you were to stitch maybe a sigil on it, or even just with a marker, or if you were to make your own blanket or something like that, how you can enchant it. She said, even spritzing an herbal spray. I do that. Um, using knot magic, add your will and intention to every knot, that type of thing. So that's part of Hearth and home magic as well. Writing, journal magic, tea magic, just the ritual of tea. I have a video coming up soon, kind of showing that process for myself. Um, just the ritual act of preparing and consuming tea is a ritual in itself. Those tea drinkers, those of us who are a little bit more persnickety and bougie with our teas, you know what I'm talking about. There's a process. You notice a popular thing right now. People are using um, the French press. It's coming. I got one too. But yeah, now I'll be doing a video on that and just kind of ritualizing these more mundane tasks. But for me as a cottage, which that's just part of my practice as well. Cleaning, magic cleaning, stuff like that, like the mundane cleaning. But one thing that I did like that she talked about is when you're cleaning, turn your mundane cleaning into something spiritual, turn it into a ritual. That way, you'll do it. Make cleaning fun. She talks about, listen, I'm at the point, it's hard for me at this point to find cleaning to be fun. It's a chore that I know just has to be done. I don't feel like always doing it, but it has to get done. I also don't like to live in a, dirty house. So, it's inevitable, right? But she talks, just about keeping your house clean, maybe doing every day something, make sure you at least you put your dishes away, like from the dish, or you clean your dishes. You do the dishes at least once a day. Maybe you're not the type to wash a dish every time you use it. By the end of the night, you clean the kitchen. Even if it was a day's worth of dishes, the point is they're cleaned and put away, so when you wake up the next day, which we know does something for most of us mentally speaking, which affects our outlook on spirituality as well. If your kitchen is kind of gross and the bathroom's gross, and there's, clean and dirty laundry in various parts of the house, there's a thick layer of dust on everything, you kind of don't, it's a little hard to, a practicing cottage witch, it's hard to be in an environment like that and feel very magically inspired. So yeah, cleaning is kind of a thing. You kind of need to clean your house, especially in doing, this type of work. I mean, honestly, any type of witchcraft, I think clutter is one thing, but if it's a thick layer of dust on the clutter, it's not just clutter. Listen, I live for a cluttered existence, but that says something about me and my own stuff. Like a lot of people, especially, okay, for a lot of us who have cluttered homes, one, it could really just be a space or lack of organization. For some of us, though, it's intentional. Me, it's intentional. For years, I wanted more, stuff in my house. I wanted more tchotchkes, and I wanted bigger items and furniture to fill the space up. And I didn't always have that, for whether it was monetary reasons or I just didn't know how to place things. So even when I had the money to make it come together, I didn't really know what to do. So now here I sit and I do know what to do, and I had the money to do it with. So guess what? I do the things and I fill my space up, and it makes me feel happy when I have stuff around. Like, it doesn't have to be very expensive. I like to mix, high end, low end stuff. Um, but I like that. I like that. So having that stuff, I don't know, it adds to the magic, but it also presents a new dilemma because I have more stuff to dust and to clean. But that's all part of it too. I don't know, consider it an offering. I keep it clean. It's like my home is an altar, so I keep everything clean. But anyway, she talks about common cleaning oils. So of course she brings in the witchy side of it, like how to witchify your cleansing and all that sort of stuff. A magical floor sweep that you can use as well. Now, the interesting thing about this, if you have like modern tools like a Roomba, or I have it's like a wet vac thing. I forgot what it's called. Bissell something. I don't know. It vacuums and it mops for you. And I have a Roomba as well. So you can put some of these items, like some of the things she's talking about, in the cleaning solutions for your mom and things, and you can make it more witchy and as such. Like a carpet refresh, so you can put a little bit something in the receiving in that you dump anyway, and you can so you have good smells, because the Roomba goes around, you can make a little powder or something, not a lot to put in that space, because the smell will go out. It does have a filter on a Roomba too. Small rituals for home protection. So of course, she talks about home protection, and then in the kitchen, which is a good section, and she explains kitchen witchery, tools of a kitchen, herb magic. It doesn't go a lot into herb magic, by the way. She just kind of gives a list of the different herbs. It's not like it's just 2 pages worth of information. So it's not like a herbal book or anything like that. But I thought it was relevant information. Like, for instance, happiness, mint, cinnamon, dandelion; health, cinnamon, chamomile, allspice, coriander. Um, in all above intention, she puts salt. Agreed. Protection, garlic, peppermint, basil, angelica, cinnamon. Um, and love, vanilla, coriander, cinnamon. So a lot of these purposes, and she talks about that. And she talks about tea magic, um, and chai. You don't need to say chai tea, just say chai recipe. But anyway, that's the conversation. Tea blends for headache, relaxation, digestion. Oh, so if you had a headache, a tea for a headache. Dried catnip, boiling water, honey to taste. For relaxation, dried chamomile. Like, these things we know, right? Tea for digestion, fresh. I would argue maybe ginger, although I have a weird with ginger. I don't dislike it too much, which is probably a normal amount to other people, and it's supposed to treat nausea. I don't know about that with me and ginger. She even has comfy, cozy kitchen witchery affirmations. So here's some of the affirmations. Say one of the following affirmations whenever you see fit. Listen to this. I just realized that your shirt. Oh, thank you, Empress God. Yeah, witchy woman. I nourish my body. I only eat foods that serve me with respect. These are affirmations. I create magic in the kitchen. I am listening to my body. The food I eat empowers me. I choose to work mindfully. So those are some nice affirmations. I actually really like that, by the way. Um, and then small rituals to balance your witch's kitchen. Listen, this is a task. Cottage witchery to me is a lot. It's a lot. It can be a lot. And I don't say that like, oh, it's a lot to stay away from it. I say it like it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And yes, I love a tidy house. I get cranky when it's not. Same. It's a lot. You recognize that the untidiness, that the dust that's collecting because you're busy. I mean, it's not all. Sometimes we're busy. I know me. I'm busy. I'm usually holed up in my craft room slash office slash magic room, and I'm doing things. I'm working on like multiple projects at the same time. And when I do come out, I'm making a mess. I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking something, I'm putting together recipes, and I'm making a mess. So I'm having trouble keeping up with my messes, to be perfectly honest, and trying to find time to come back and get to it all. So I've been doing some things myself to stay on task with that, because I realize if I don't feel balanced, and I feel like the energy in the home needs to be supported. I need to put it in balance so that I feel balanced, because we're all connected over here. The spirit of the home, myself, we're all connected. And if I don't, this has got to work. Like, if I feel crazy, the house is gonna look crazy. Um, if the house look crazy, I start to feel crazy. There you go. So you'll enjoy this. Small rituals to balance your witch's kitchen. Clean, first step. Wipe down your counters, appliances, and floor with a natural essential oil-based cleaning solution, if possible. Me personally, full disclosure, I do not always use these homemade essential oil blends. natural products to clean my counters. Oh, oh, okay. I'm hearing something. Anyway, sometimes I have granite countertops. I like to use the special granite cleaner when possible to clean those. That's not a specific, that's not no natural thing, but it helps with the shine. And then I found a cheaper, because that's not cheap, by the way, that stuff, cleaning solution. I try to get it when I can, but in between, I use, your regular cleaner, all purpose cleaner that doesn't mess it up. And I wipe I want, look, I'm like bleach. I want to disinfect. I love those. Maybe you can use those once you clean everything else off. But initially, not only use bleach on the counters, but I like to, in my cleaning, I need to know it's really clean and disinfected first, and then we can come with the nice stuff. Hi, the Princess Diaries. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah, and then we can come back with the nice smell goods and all that sort of stuff. That's just me. I know there's a whole thing. Once upon a time, I was in the Pinterest rabbit hole, and I was looking for those natural products and how to make them, those DIY recipes. At one point, I was even trying to make my own laundry soap. Um, it didn't clean the same. And I was, look, I need stuff to be clean. I need to know it's clean. So anyway, she talks about sweep, grab your besom or broom you have handy and sweep while you're doing this. Imagine the unwanted energies disappearing from the space. So here's the thing about that. There's the regular broom you sweep with, and then there's your magical broom. You typically don't use that broom, actually makes contact with the floor and you sweep. Some people do, most cases people don't. You kind of sweep the essence, the energy, you don't actually make contact with the floor. But she says different, but that's just what you decide what you want to do, but that's typically what people do. Tidy up. A cluttered space clutters the mind, like I said, and feeds on negative energy, trapping it in. Refresh the kitchen altar. Take a few moments or even a few hours to refresh your kitchen altar. Wipe down surfaces, grab a fresh altar cloth, swap out a candle, or add new correspondences. Totally agree. And actually, most times that only takes you a few minutes if you have the kitchen altar set up. Open windows. This is a key thing. For me here in Arizona, it's fall. So we've had some chilly days, basically days where it's not scorching hot. It's nice weather. It just feels good. But in the mornings, there's a little chill. So one of the things I've been enjoying is this is the time of year I get to open the windows. I can let in fresh air and let out, still stagnant air, or recycled air from the central air unit. So, that's a good thing. In the kitchen, that's a perfect time. Most of us, maybe some places is a little colder than others. You don't have to keep the window open that long, but just long enough. Maybe this is the perfect time for you to use your broom and sweep the energy out the window, the door preferably, but that might be too much for some folk. But yeah, use that as well. Burn some herbs at that point. Put them on the windowsill, or just stand there if you don't have windowsill. Just stand there with the herbs and kind of shoo it out. Let it go around the room and then shoo it out. I use a bism like they did in Practical Magic. It's done more than a sweeping motion with no floor contact. Ah, exactly. Exactly. By the way, Practical Magic, I, after the party tonight that I'm having, by the way, let me just stop for a second. On the Discord channel, A Safe Place for Witches, or Safe Place for Witches, that's the name of the channel on Discord. I am hosting a virtual slash Samhain party. So I will be in costume. I'm not going to say what it is. You'll just see. But I will be in costume. I invite others. If you're not in full costume, I don't know, put on a funny hat. I don't live your life, but come enjoy. And who do you sweep from back to front? I do that. Yes. First of all, yes. You know what? There, just in general, there's something to be said for the things we all just do, right? That you just know to do, but you don't think a lot about why you do it. When I clean, in the order I clean, I find that interesting. I like to start, for me, the back of the house is going to be my bedroom suite. So I want to start in the bedroom and my bathroom attached. And then I come in my office, which is also the back. and then I come up the hall and I want to clean up. I do that automatically. It feels right. It just feels right. And yes, I know there's something more to that, but it feels right to just do it that way. To me, it makes sense. Like, why would I start up here and then go back there? I'm supposed to do that part of the house first and this part last. Like, I don't know. My mind is like that. With vacuuming, because I vacuum the hardwood floors too to get the dust up. Um, she talks about doing a smoke cleanse. Cleanse your cooking space with an herbal wand. Any herbs you enjoy using in the kitchen will work well for this. So she said, like dried rosemary, sage, thyme, or lavender. Good idea. And then ask for assistance. Ask your guides, your ancestors, deities, fairies, whomever you work with, to help you in cleansing your kitchen witchery space. Then she gives a recipe for a kitchen energy cleansing spray recipe: distilled water, witch hazel, lemon essential oil, rosemary essential oil, and thyme essential oil. This is not bad at all. Um, and then a kitchen altar consecration ritual. I'm struggling with words today. And then a kitchen meditation. Like, I love this. Working through emotions to stay comfy and balanced. Release anger through chopping and pounding. Like, don't you? Well, me personally, I love this about kitchen witchery specifically. Like, how people don't understand the nitty gritty of it all. It's not just making a pot of soup or something and throwing stuff in there. I mean, it is, but there's more to that. Ground yourself using the quick kitchen meditation or work with an ingredient that comes directly from the earth. Shed unwanted thoughts and feelings by peeling back layers of an onion. Quell anxiety and bring in some calm by stirring or rhythmically mixing. Give yourself a burst of energy by kneading some bread or shaking up a salad dressing mixture. So there you go. A food blessing. I thank you, Goddess, for the food before me. May it provide nourishment, love, and abundance for all who need it. Let's say you don't work with the goddess, though, right? You could just say, I would thank the energy of the food, the essence of the food. So if let's say it is a salad, I would, what does she cook? A savory egg bake was the next thing. So eggs or something. And I would thank the animal for the egg. I would thank the the earth for the for the herbs in the salad. Um, yeah. And these are the recipes, the vegetarian recipes, which I'm not against vegetarianism. I was one. Um, but I still feel like, can we talk more about that? Some authors do, but I'd like to see more of the everybody. I don't know. I feel like there's this move toward, no, we want to just not have a big impact on the earth and out of respect for the earth. And I totally agree with that. And I know there's different schools of thoughts on this, but if you are someone who consumes meat, um, you eat flesh animals, you I think some of the witches out there who do consume it, it's okay that we have, magic around that. I know in my Cottage Witchery Book of Shadows, I have a section where I talk about different uh, meat and seafood and the magical correspondences with that, because I wanted to keep that, because I do consume those things, and I would like, if I'm fully in my kitchen magic, I want to, you know, maybe look into those correspondences as well. I'm just saying. Sacred spaces. So yeah, then she goes into the outdoor space. Um, nature and witchcraft. Oh, and there's a section about the fae, fairies, fair folk. Fae, fairies, fair folk. That's what it says. Um, which I know I've introduced them a while ago into my garden outside. I say garden because it's like a container garden. Oh, and then she gives a section on how to recognize the fae. Sweet scents, a tickle on your cheek, fairy ring of clover or mushrooms. Well, that's not happening here. I don't even have. Let me tell you something. This is the desert for real. I have rocks and no grass. Flowers growing in unexpected places. I have weeds, jewelry or stones going missing. Now that's true. You see spheres of light. Animals around you begin to act strangely. Birds singing in unison or flying in unusual patterns indicate the presence of fae. Laughter and high pitched giggling when no children or other critters around are a strong indication that the fae are nearby. Well, that's interesting. The jewelry thing is very real. I don't have clovers or mushrooms growing, not at this time, but give it time with the mushrooms. I did have unexpected things growing, like there's a plant growing where I have put herbs, seeds from seed that have died and come back. It's a big thing of basil. And meanwhile, I had to use one of those apps, Plant Finder or something like that, to identify what this was because it was indeed not basil. And I found out it was something else entirely. Can y'all still hear me and see me? Is this still connected? Oh, I hope so. Hmm. Y'all let me know, please. I saw the Fey ring. You did the Empress Golf? Thank you. You're still there. Okay. It said reconnecting. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, but the Fey thing is it's a big part. Thank you, the Princess Diaries as well. That's a big part of I don't know, also my cottage witchery because I have a fairy I actually have a video. I created a fairy altar. I moved it, but it's in a good place now. This is where it probably should have been in the beginning. But and I have less things missing. Well, that's not true. That's actually not true. I was missing my headpiece I like to wear sometimes in ritual. And I was looking, and let me tell you something. I chalked it up to maybe Mika just being having a Mika moment and not, something's right in her face and she doesn't see it. Except I was looking for it for a while. And then I went back to go look, and it was where it should have been the whole time. But it was not there before. And you know, maybe if it was a one time I looked, but it was like over the course of the day, I kept like I was doing other stuff, and I knew I was gonna need it later, and I kept searching for it. So anyway, I'm just saying it's mighty interesting. It just popped up. It's like somebody's playing games with me, so I might need to add something to my Fey altar to kind of like. I think that was a message like, hello, you're neglecting us. Uh, so, they talk about go-to witches herbs: rosemary, agreed; lavender, mugwort, agreed; sage, and peppermint. Yeah, and other popular witches herbs are catnip, eucalyptus, lemon balm, and rose. I agree on all these. I think this is. I mean, obviously, we all use different things, but like the go-to herbs, I plenty of rosemary, lavender, mugwort, yup, sage, peppermint, um, catnip. I planted some seeds. I still have more, and I don't know how much. Maybe I think it was the wrong location in my house, um, and the catnip didn't make it. I am doing the best I can with that. I have some chamomile that I'm growing from seed. The little sprout is still there. I don't know how long it turns into something else, but right now it's still just a little sprout. I'm really hoping I can make this happen. I am going to keep trying to grow things from seed. It's like I'll see it sprout and then eventually it just kind of dies. And I don't know what's happening. I make sure I follow the water schedule for the seed, the plant, and all that stuff. But this time, my chamomile is it's just very small, but it's still there and it's green and it's alive. So that's a positive thing. So we'll see where that goes. Um, Lemon balm is something I need to do, and eucalyptus for sure. I do need to get those seeds. I'm in a seed collecting mode right now. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm kind of feeling like also part of my craft. Doesn't it feel like we need to just make sure we got stuff for just some inevitable BS? I'm not a doomsday person. I wouldn't refer to myself as a prepper. I like to be prepared. But doesn't it just seem like you might want to invest in getting one of those books about country living and making sure you know how to make your own antibiotics and herbs and stuff like that? And it just seems like a good time to do that. Oh, I missed that message. Oh, I got this too far away from me. Ah, there we go. Catnip got chewed up by every cat in the house. Neighborhood can't keep it. I could see that. You know what? Before I would have said, oh, there's not really a lot of loose cats here. Until recently, I noticed there is, in fact, a cat here in my neighborhood, a black cat. I was like, of all the times a year for a black cat to show up, first of all, it has been spooky town around here. So that was about a week or so ago. There's just like this black cat just lurking around. Yeah, I've been studying about making tinctures and salves. It just seems like maybe we need to have that level. Yeah, country living. Yes, I think so. Yeah, we need to have that level of just education just for the common person, which or not. I feel like we need to kind of just know that because, okay, even if it's not this horrible doomsday scenario, the healthcare situation, been in the if you've had to do anything medical or know someone who has, there is something going on and it's not great. We have a lot of nurses who are maybe 3 to 5 years under their belt. They're in charge because the a lot of the other nurses, depending on where you live, of course, have retired. But there's been this big transition that's occurred. We have a lot more people going into nursing, men and women. They want the money because there's good money. The problem is that's not the type of profession you want to get into just for the money because it will show in the level of care that you're provided. Um, my grandmother has been in the hospital. She's out now. She was in hospital for like a week and she's 87 years old, but she's alive and well. And there's kind of a lazy attitude around her care. She had like dangerously low blood count and they had to take her off her heart medicine, which was increasing chance of stroke. And then she's wheezing. This is not even why she went to the hospital, but this is what's now happening. Um, so, long story short, if my mother wasn't there to advocate for her in the way that she was, like standing there saying, "Hey, stop and did did you can you get me what's happening? Like, what are we doing?" Um, to ask these questions throughout the day, um, I can see how you could go in and maybe never come out. So all I'm saying is learn some stuff so that preventative care, which is the next section, self care. That is true in the lazy healthcare. Yeah, doctors. Can we not? That's the nurse. I'm because nurses. Hey, I got a kid becoming one. And she's always wanted to go into this field. So that's somebody who's since she was a little girl, she always wanted to be in the medical field. But self care is another thing, another issue. If you take care of yourself, they aren't taking care of folks, right? Especially Black, brown people. Exactly. She's old. She's a Black woman, and I truly believe. And by the way, this is not even a racial thing because the nurses were actually because it's racism, and there's also this ageism. Ageism is real. There's a lot of people out here who feel like, well, you're old anyway, so like what so, die like excuse me, she is 87, she will be 88 next month. And in her words, the way she would say it is, God willing, if the Lord see fit. I have to say it like her. Anyway, but yeah, she will be 88. That is huge. She has an older sister who is in her 90s, approaching mid 90s. Look, I like that these are my direct people that I'm from, and I love that they are living as long as they are living because that says something about my possible life path. So I love that. But self-care, um, meditation. Meditation, listen, that's different from everybody. And I was one of those people who would say, I'm really have struggling with the concept of meditation. Ageism is the reason menopausal women struggle so much. Yeah, horrible. Yeah, I would imagine because you're right. The dialogue around it, first of all, if most women don't even want to talk too much about it because you're called old. Oh, you're going. Oh, you older than I thought. Are you old? Stuff like that. It's gonna listen. Like speaking of my grandmom, well, what's the alternative? You're dead. Do you realize the alternative to aging is to not age, which means you die? As much as I love a good vampire situation, I'm open. Listen, if y'all know something, let me know, and let me know who I need to talk to, to become one. But If somebody knows something, tell me, share it with me. I would be a good one. I wouldn't tell nobody else. But assuming that, that's not going to happen, we are eventually, you age and eventually die. But the aging process is just a cycle, it's just a process. Um, it took a while for me to get there. I was a younger person who thought 30 was old. I remember being in my early 20s. I thought 25 was old. Y'all know, you like 19, 20. I was like, oh, when I'm 25, I better have my ish together because, I'm an adult then. And then 25 came and I'm like, oh, I'm still me. And then I was like, well, 30 is the thing. I need to have everything lined up, a house, I'm serious about my money, like the kids, everything is okay. Because by 25, I had gotten married and had, well, two kids. I was trying to think when that happened. Well, I turned 25 that March, and my son was born in November. But yeah, so two kids, um, and a husband at 25. So I was like, huh. Well, I mean, I am doing grown up stuff, but it doesn't work. And then I was like, okay, well, 35 is it. When you 35, surely it's all together. And then 35 happened, and I was like, hmm, I mean, I guess it's together, but I still just feel like me. This big thing I keep thinking is supposed to happen, this shift hasn't happened. Then 40, oof, chop 40. That's the big thing, right? Made a whole show of it. I went on this whole health thing. And it was a good thing. I changed my diet. I worked out every day for 5 days a week, leading up to my birthday, starting midway through the year before, like the last quarter of the year before. My birthday's in March. So 6 months basically of planning so I could look a certain way. I was in South Beach on my birthday. It was still, I was just me. Like this thing that's supposed to happen still didn't happen. And then here we are. I'm still just me. So aging is funny because this outer shell is clearly transcending into something, or out of something. And your mind, you gain more knowledge. So hopefully you become wiser. So there are real, things occurring. But at the same time, the essence of you're still just you, just older. I just know more stuff because I've been around long enough, you know, and the creases are coming a little bit more, and maybe other bodies. We don't want me to get into all that, but I'm getting older, um, and but I'm still me. People have this idea, like my grandmother. She's 87. She's still that girl. She is still that girl. The girl she always was. She's still that girl at 87. Same. I'm a woman, but that girl is still there. Anyway, that's that's aging in a nutshell. That's how I approach it. I'm still that girl, the OG Mika. She's still here. She's still here. She still sees the world that way. She has a different lens now because I learned some stuff along the way, but it's still the essence of me. But meditation, I think, is a little bit more essential, especially in our modern world. Meditation is just slowing things down for however long you can. If you don't get that zen place in your mind, that's fine. just just sit there quiet for like 5 minutes. That's meditation for some of us because there's a lot going on in the world. No, you don't need no music, you don't need anything, no device, nothing. Just be quiet. Just sit for 5 minutes. That is a goal for meditation for most of us, to just be quiet for 5 minutes with nothing else going on. Now, there's other stuff maybe happening around you, but you are intentionally breathing, intentionally taking advantage of, like, inhale, exhale, like you're in tune with your body, how you feel, just sitting. 5 minutes. That could be simple meditation. Of course, it gets a little deeper than that, but for some of us, it could be that simple. Let me tell you something, that 5 minutes can make the difference your whole day, especially if you get an opportunity to do that, before you set off for the rest of the day. Just take 5 minutes and just be quiet. Don't open, just relax. that that can clear your head. Thoughts come to you, a solution to a problem, because you're just clearing your mind for a moment. She taught meditation, but it's a lot of stuff about meditation, misconceptions, methods, starting small, grounding. I do believe it's a really essential part as well. So I'm glad she's taking this much time. Then she goes into scents. I'm big on that. Uh, Talking about aromatherapy and scent methods like incense, herb burning, oils, mists, candles, um, and then the different type of magical scents, all for Hearth and Home. It makes sense. Bath magic, and this is all under the self-care section. Magical self-care recipes. She gives a bath salts recipe, a room mist recipe. I like that. Healing balm recipe, and a salt bath ritual. Nothing too difficult to do. And then finding magic in everyday things, creating a morning ritual. This really is taken from out of my own mind on some of this stuff. But anyway, creating a nightly ritual, connecting with the elements, magic with children. Years ago, I had purchased a Wiccan book on, I don't remember what it was called, but I still have it on my bookshelf. Something about how to like add in Wicca at the time. This is early on in my journey. Adding your children in your Wiccan practice or something like that. And it has some good ideas, like, especially with little kids, it's not that difficult and you don't really have to have a lot of explanation. Especially like with, come on, witchcraft is crafting, creating incense and working with herbs, like natural elements. They're not really going to hurt themselves that much with most of the stuff that we're working with. Doing stuff like learning how to dehydrate or dry. Like if you have a dehydrator, that's a craft you could do with your kids to dry out vegetables and flowers, or that sort of stuff. Planting flowers, planting seeds, explaining your intention, and writing a little note. And maybe they have theirs. I did that before with my kids, and it worked. By the way, their spells work. Their plant spells work. And that was a fun thing for them to experience. That me guide them through it. We all sat together at the table, and everybody they got to pick the seed that they wanted to plant. My daughter did a flower, and my son did, I don't remember what he did. I know my daughter, I think he did a herb like me, and she wanted a flower instead. So, and they began to grow, and so did what they intended as well. So that was pretty cool. Daily mini rituals. Okay, here you go. Stir tea or coffee. So, you stir in a certain direction and you speak your intention. Wear enchanted jewelry. Yep. Make a protection pouch. I like that. Meditate. We talked about that. Intentionally light a candle. Step outside. Stretch. Speak with gratitude. All right. These things I would do. It's a whole long list. Get crafty. I'm about that life too. Item enchantment ritual for protection. Oh, that's good. Jewelry enchantment spell. So she gives that. So I like that. She gives you ideas and tell you how to do it. There is a lot of information in this little book. It's just over 200 pages, but there is a lot. She even has a book blessing in the beginning, um, for you, the reader, to, let me get to that. I thought that was so sweet. A book charm. Yeah, so I want to be sure you get the most out of this book. So if you would like, here's a charm to enchant this book and your reading of it. Place the book in your left hand with your right hand on top. Speak the following words aloud while imagining a warm a warm golden light encapsulating the book. So here we go. May my reading experience be comforting and warm. May this book help me see magic in the everyday to bring protection, joy, and nourishment to my home, family, and friends. Be it so. I thought that was so sweet. So, yeah, I like the book. I'm glad. I will be referring to this as a reference. She actually referenced another book in here that I follow, another author within her book, which I appreciate. Um, I don't know. I don't know, see witches working together. I like seeing stuff like that. But what was I looking for? The copyright page. I believe this came out this year, 2022. If I could get to it. Did it? Am I not? I got these long nails and it's really messing with me. I got got my Halloween nails on. Yeah, 2022. So this just recently came out. I was kind of keeping my eyes out for this one. I like this. So I went on and on about that book because I like the longer I talk about it, the more I love it. But I want to talk about this because it's Halloween. Trick or Treat Tarot by Barbara Moore. Let me tell you right now, the reviews on Amazon are like this. Most like it. There's a couple people in there who are, paper snobs like myself, who kind of has something to say about the quality of the card. So let's get into that. I'm gonna be honest with you, they are kind of thin. But let's talk about the inside of the box. Isn't it pretty? I'm matching. Okay, I've expressed this multiple times. I love me a full color book. And if this book is not color, oh my God, this, first of all, this feels like a work of art. Look at this. Look at this. This is a devil card. I am in love with this. I love this card. This is right. This is something I will put up on my altar. Like, yo, this is the Hermit. This is gorgeous. This is just from the book, right? It's so nice. The Magician. Okay. So this is just the book. I'm representation matters. Queen of Pentacles. Is this not cool? Look at this so you get closer. Like, look at the details. I love everything about this. Okay, so let me show you the cards. Yes, they're thin. Yes, they are thin. I don't love that. I want to show you the inside of this box. Isn't that nice? This is not a card. This is just the inside. This, I'm a sucker for packaging. Like, this is nice. It's just real nice. So let's get into some of these cards. So the Fool. This is the Fool. It's the detail. I could just sit here and stare at these cards and just like stare at the level of details on these cards. I've already showed y'all the Magician. The High Priestess, she looked like, is this Sarah, what's her name? Sarah Jessica Raphael? Y'all know who I'm trying to say her name. The High Priest. But don't she look at this? Is that Elvira on the box? That's what it looked like. I believe so. But look, come on now. This is just this is everything to me. I like these cards so much. The Empress is interesting. And I saw somebody complain in the comments, oh, the images don't match the card meaning. I'm like, that's because you lack imagination. I didn't say that, but I was thinking it when I was reading it. The Emperor. This is, y'all get what this is, right? The Emperor. Oh, oh my God. Yes, they take like pop. I I try to watch Sarah Jesse Raphael. That's what I think it was. The Hierophant. It's a black Mister. Is this Mr. Rogers? But black, right? With the sweater. Oh my God, the Lovers. I'm thinking the Adams Family. They have a Munsters one looking in here too. This is a gorgeous deck. Like, yes, it is. It's thin. It's thin. I'm not gonna lie. It is thin. Dr. Seuss. But this is the Chariot. So strength is giving like Beauty and the Beast, but it's nice. Look at that. As I'm shaking. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not gonna go through every single card. Look at that. Look at this. These are like, I don't know. It's the details for me. Let me find y'all one that's really cool. Okay, here we go. The Temperance. This is gorgeous to me. Look at this. Like, get it, balance, the Temperance. Look at this. With the drinks and the mixing. He looks like Chris Brown. Oh, the other one. Oh my God. You thought that's who it was? Who's to say? I don't even know anymore. The Tower. Okay, check this out. This is a very interesting card to just. This is definitely one of those things you get the mean. To me, how do you not see the meanings? But look at this. This is the Tower card. Um, the Moon. Very interesting designs. So the sun. So this is like, look at the sun. But I like this. I love this. So like, all right. So I'm gonna show a couple of the other cards. This is the wands, Ace of Wands. I don't know why the simplicity of it, but look how like I love the real like picture look of it. My daughter told me the right name of it. I can't remember what she said. But yo, look at Two of Wands. It gets, by the way, it gets more horror as we get deeper into the deck. But there's something in me that kind of likes that. Don't ask. I don't know what my deal is. Not completely. Wait, Four of Wands. Check this out. With the baby in the baby chair and the carrier. This, I don't know. I love this. So they do get a little darker. Um, I'll show you momentarily what I mean. Wait, one more. Knight of Wands. This is hilarious to me. Anyway, um, cups. Look at the Ace of Cups. I don't know. I kind of like this too. I like them all. I like all the cards. I don't not like any of them. Two of Cups is all the vibes. I love it. And it's like the detail. Like you look at what's on the tree, what's hanging. Okay, let me. Here we go. Ooh, Nine of Cups. Check it. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous cards. I just like all the extra crazy details. They even have like one with the it's Ten of Cups and it's like Wizard of Oz. I don't know. I'm a fan, y'all. I am a fan. And then, oh, this is Three of Swords. Look at that. The Swords cards take a turn, I think. But I'm okay with it. Like, let's break down what's happening in the Five of Swords. Let's break down. Is she going to cut the crayon kid in the crayon costume? Like, what's really going on? But I love this. I love everything in this. This is just like, come on. This is perfect for this time of year. Um, Nine of Swords. I told you these swords cards take a more darker turn as you go through them. Look at this. Nine of Swords. So definitely some good Halloween cards for sure. I like the spooky imagery. I like it a little horror filled, scary. Like I'm digging all of it. This is Three of Pentacles. So I like the colors, like that green. I'm digging this so much in the sky, just like the detail. I'm trying to do it so you can see it with the different lighting. I don't know. I like it. Uh, and it's like the monster house. Oh my god, I like this so much. And this is yeah, Five of Pentacles. So, needless to say, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in with these cards. I like this card. I love this card actually. Oh my god, y'all got to see this. Now, it looks like she's painting the spots on the kids, but the question is, what is she gonna do with them once they're all done up? Corolla Deville, Eight of Pentacles. Like, what's about to happen with these kids? Oh, here's the Elvira one. There's actually a card. Love. I could see using this on my altar if I'm channeling certain types of energy, like this card right here. And then here's my favorite monsters card. Ten of Pentacles, and Ten of Pentacles is always like represented by like a happy family. So it's the monsters. Love it. Okay, y'all, look at this. Please look at the Knight of Pentacles. Come on. Anyway, so, and this is our King of Pentacles looking deranged, but I love it all. And you see the cape on the back end. Interesting, right? He had his cake and ate it too. Anyway, so yes, Amazon. This is, by the way, what the cards look like on the front. I absolutely love these cards. I like her art. She did the Mystical manga, steampunk tarot deck, and the Tarot Wonderland. Oh, my daughter has the steampunk one. She liked that one a lot too. She did like the artwork on that one a lot, now that you mention it. And she liked these cards as much as I did when I showed her to him. Like, she got a lot of the references. She's like, wait, I know what that is. So I like that as like pop culture, like in the horror, spooky, category. And they use that for the cards. So the book is just like, when I first opened it, I don't know if y'all, okay, so you know how you order albums nowadays, like Beyonce's album. I know I didn't buy the CD or the album or whatever, but for people who did, like she gave you like a poster, and I don't know if she had a book, but like for K-pop, they'll come with like a book. This was, I don't know, it made me feel like that when I opened this up. Like there's the book, and you go in, and there's like all these like high gloss, colorful pictures and stuff like that. That's what it was kind of giving me the feels for. Me and my daughter will sit here, and she does an unboxing in front of me. She does not have social media like that where she's doing it there, but she will do an unboxing for me, and I'll watch her unbox and show me the albums and stuff that she gets as she comes next to me. Hello. So you just couldn't wait to get the water? You're thirsty. Oh, okay. You're gonna fill the cup all the way up first, though. All right, all right. I did choose to be in this area. I did choose this. Also, that I also want to point out is that they give some interesting spreads in the book as well. And it's not just like a couple. You get some books and they give you like just a handful, but their section for spreads is actually a section. It's a chapter. Special Halloween treat tip. So there's like a way you can do a treat, and then there's a trick. Halloween themed spreads, a trick or treat spread, your haunted house spread, messages from the other side spread. I'll do that one on Halloween. Gathering the harvest spread. One card, three card, horseshoe spread. Um, Spreads with dramatic effect. A yes no oracle, and it's like a lot of detail. And then an ancient Celtic method of divination. But yeah, I thought that was a good amount of spreads because sometimes they usually just give you one card, a three card, and like the Celtic cross. Like most books, that's like maybe three or four. They give several. So if you were on the fence about this, yeah, it is a good guide. Now I haven't really read. Let's talk about the devil. Everybody pretty much knows what the devil card means in general. It's like vices and knowing that you're capable of conquering, whatever your vice is. You really do have the power to change. Like just recognize it, kind of esque, depending on the situation. But who's ready to partay? That's what it says. There are lots of ways to celebrate Halloween. Remember, costumes help us explore other aspects of ourselves, and many adults love to express a bit of what might be inappropriate sexiness in regular life. It's all in good fun and can also be a healthy release. See, the devil isn't all bad. All right, so they're setting us up. I see this. When this card comes up, you will face some important questions. Sure, the devil can be fun, but mostly in tarot, it points out to bigger problems. Notice the web behind her. So there's a web behind her. I don't know if you make that out. Okay, and it says it's not just decorations, but a symbol representing being caught or trapped. It's about bondage and not the fun kind. Oh, don't you love that? Almost all aspects of life can be a part of a healthy whole, but when you face the devil, you're into something that is not helping you. It could be something obvious, like dependence on drugs or alcohol. It might be less obvious, like a toxic relationship or job. Even more subtle, it could be patterns or behaviors or thoughts that keep you bound. Once you come to terms with your devil, you can find a way to break free. And it gives keywords: trapped, obsession, materialism, temptation, repression, lies. They give a reversed keywords: abuse, addiction, violence, evil. So there you go. I thought that was actually a very good, representation of the devil. It's a little different, you know. This is clearly very adult, and I like that. But I do appreciate that meaning. I think I like that. I like the way that was written. So I'm very excited about this. Um, I will be cleansing my cards, and I may bring this also to the Halloween party for later, because I think it would be pretty fun to maybe do a couple readings, right? With the deck using those cards. Just some fun. We'll keep it fun, keep it light. You know, I don't want anybody to walk away, you know, with the tower and the devil freaked out. Like, what did just happen? I thought I was coming to a virtual costume party. Now, you know, my life is in question. But no, we'll keep it fun. I'll keep it fun. Nothing very serious, just fun stuff. But these are perfect cards, I think, to do fun stuff with. The Samhain Oracle cards that I have, uh, yeah, Samhain Oracle. What is it part of? I forgot what the bigger name is, but they like have the Yule one, the Samhain one, and the Beltane cards. I forgot the overall name of these cards. I'm not near them, so I can't remember. But anyway, the Samhain ones, they are very deep, meaningful oracle cards. Like, yes, you need the guidebook. Kudos if you memorized all that information. They have like little palms or something on the front of the cards where if you're not, you know, you kind of get the gist, but Seasons of the Witch. Thank you, Princess Diaries, Seasons of the Witch. You will need to look at that guidebook to kind of get the meaning. I'm okay with that, but the way it's written, I recently, like a Wednesday, used that deck, and I do feel like it read me for filth. Like, it told me I didn't want to hear what it was saying. I didn't want to hear it. It told me to rest. I got projects up in the air. I got things I'm doing. Resting is not a thing. But I did take a rest, at least for one day. And my body forced me to, so I had no choice. But anyway, I did rest. But before I knew that I wasn't gonna have a choice, it did you need to rest. Like, it's not laziness to rest. And I was like, I, but it is kind of like I could be doing something while I'm resting, but instead I did. And I did pleasurable activities, which actually sparked creativity to do the other projects that I'm working on. So I'm glad that I did heed the message of the reading, the cards, and I only pulled 3 cards, and it said a lot in those cards. So if you were wondering about that deck, that Oracle deck, actually so far I like them all. I like the Yule, I like Beltane is everything, and the Samhain, or you can do some serious shadow work with those cards. Really get in touch with that side and be okay with what it reveals as well. Try to be okay with it, because it's like in your face. I like cards like that sometimes, not all the time. I don't need that in my life all the time, but sometimes, you know, I'm okay with getting those types of messages. And intuitively, I know you don't want to, but go ahead and pull those cards and give yourself a reading and see what they're saying. All right, but I'm going to wrap up here. So I love both purchases. This was a good one for me. These two, both purchased from Amazon. This is something I'll be referring to quite often. It's not fluffy, and I say that because a lot of times those books, like, it's not telling you anything you don't already know. Now, honestly, as someone who is working on something to kind of break down cottage witchery, I do technically know almost everything she's talking about, but she did have some things that I hadn't thought about. So that was good. So, you know what? Definitely something to have in your witchy library. And this is just pure fun. And I think it can probably give really actually good messages as well. So it's not just for looks, the artwork is everything, but you can actually get something out of this as well. Kind of let their guidebook be your guide, as a yes, you know the meanings of probably most of the cards, but I would still look in the guidebook to see how they intended. At least that's how I do things anyway. So that is all. I would agree you should get these things if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and the share, and consider hitting the join button to join Leap Taken membership here on YouTube. It's like a Patreon here as well, but you know, some cool stuff happens. So go ahead and click on it. And then consider heading over to leaptaken.com to check out some of the services that I offer. If you are curious, just head on over there and take a look. But I am going to go also at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time on Discord, the Discord channel. If you don't know what Discord is, if you go on your phone, you can download the app for Discord, Discord, Discord. And I believe there's a link in my description as well for Safe Place for Witches. That's the name of the channel. It's a safe place for witches. Um, Go ahead, hang out, come in costume, put on a witch's hat, or just come and hang out. Bring your drink, a sense of humor, some fun. It's light. We're just gonna hang out. All right, I'm done. And you're welcome. I love doing reviews. I'm glad y'all like it. Anyway, all right, thanks. I'm out of here. Bye. See y'all later. Some of y'all. Bye.